Hello guys, welcome to this section of the video where we're going into our server. We are going into our server, setting up your 100% free local server. Of course, like I said in the former video, I would want to take you through how you can get your domain, your hosting, your cPanel, your SSL, and free certificate. You understand? In the videos I have watched before now on WordPress, most of them start with the local server. Now, when you start with local server, by the time you have your own domain name, you don't know how to go about it. You don't know how to build anything because all they taught you was how to go about it locally. I'm going to save you the stress, right? I'm going to show you how you can get your own domain name. Cheap, extremely cheap, right? And go online and start building websites. Even not for others, at least for yourself. And you will have your own portfolio in less than 24 hours. Now, first of all, the first thing we have is domain name. Like I explained in our former videos, domain name is a pointer to your website. It's like your street address. So when I say joshua.com, that is a domain name. How can you get your domain name? Now, when you have a business in Nigeria, you have to register it with CAC, that's Corporate Affairs Commission. You have to register it with CAC. Those are the people that you take your business name to and say, I want to register this business name. Now, when you want to build a website, there are also some platforms that you go to and say, I want to register a domain name. In other words, if I say my website name is joshua.com, I don't want anybody else to use joshua.com again. So only one person can use google.com. Only one person can use facebook.com. Only one company can use joshua.com. So what is your domain name? What is your domain name? Now you will see here that you can register it with Namecheap or GoDaddy. Namecheap or GoDaddy. There are so many other platforms that you can register it with too. If you come here and we say web hosting platform. If I come here and say web hosting platforms, you will see a lot of them. You can see Spaceship, you can see Namecheap, you can see InterServer, you can see Amazon Web Services, you can see Whogohost, you can see truehost.com.ng, you can see GoDaddy.com. There's Hostinger, there's Light Hosting. If you look at this platform, you see that this is Light Hosting. This is the company that I use. You understand? So you can decide that you want to go to any of these companies and say, hello, I have a domain name that I like. I want to register it so that nobody else can use it. So what do? We come there to what? To buy. Now, let's say I want to use, who do we use? Should we use Light Hosting? Should we use Namecheap? Who should we use for our domain name? Let's still use Light Hosting for the purpose of this. So all you need to do is to come to lighthosting.com. So whenever you come to lighthosting.com, if you need to register. You understand? Always make sure that you register and you log in. You are logged in, right? So when you are logged in, even if it's on your phone or on your laptop, you will see it clearly. All you need to do is to navigate to domain search or domains. It's still the same thing. Register a new domain. So tomorrow, if I have a business idea and my business name is give us a business name. Let's say our business name is buy phone at cheap price. Well, that's what came to my head. So what would my website name be if I want anybody to visit my website where they can buy a phone for a very cheap price? I could say that my website name is cheapphones.com. Then what do? I click on cheapphones.com. Now, if there is another company that is already using cheapphones.com, I won't be able to buy this domain name Do you understand? So what do? I click on search. Is it available? It says cheapphones.com is not available. That means somebody else is currently using this website, cheapphones.com. Let me search for it and see if there's somebody using the website, cheapphones.com. You can see there's somebody using it. You can see reflects publishing domain portfolio, cheapphones.com. Phones sold at low prices or discounted amount. See, there's somebody that already owns this thing. That's why it's showing like this. So let's go look for something else. Let's say, now, if you look at this page, you see it's telling me cheapphones.com is unavailable, cheapphones.net is unavailable, cheapphones.org is unavailable, but .info is available, .xyz is not available, .ng is available, .com.ng is available. And if you look here, you will see some modern ones that are also available. Now, if I want to say, maybe I still want to use cheap phones, I say buycheapphones.com. As of now, I'm still searching for what? For a domain name. I search for this, buycheapphones.com, and it tells me what's it going to tell me. It's checking, say buycheapphones.com is still not available. I can now go ahead and say, oh, you see, it's not, one thing I want you to understand is, it is not compulsory to use .com for your business. It is not compulsory to use .com for your business. You can always use .ng or .com.ng or .net, .info, .xyz. You can always use those. You understand? But let's say I'm so adamant and I want to use .com. I can say cheap phones in Nigeria, or I can say cheapphonesniger.com, and I search for it. Hopefully this one is available. You see, cheapphonesniger.com. So in the future, I want people to buy cheap phones on my website, and I want them to visit cheapphonesniger.com to buy. So what do? Once I see it, I say this thing is available, I was added to cart. If I don't have up to 20,000, what do? I go for what I can afford. 4,000. Let me tell you something that you don't know. And this is something that you use to make money as a web developer as well. You see, some people sell .com, this .com. The reason this thing is 20,986 is because I'm buying cheapphonesniger.com. If I want to buy cheapphonesniger.xyz, it's just 4,186. If I want to buy cheapphonesniger.com.ng, it's just 8,988. But you can use this to make money from your client. Some people sell .com for about 30,000 naira. So you can charge your clients 30,000 naira and still buy it 20,986. It's all about finding the cheapest place. For me, I don't do that. Of course, you give out the invoice as it should be. But sometimes a lot of people do that. I see it online. People advise me to. Some people go as far as charging so people go as far as charging as high as 100,000 naira for hosting, for domain name rather. You understand? Now, I wanted to show you something. Now, this is 20,986. You know that this same thing, that is 20,986 here, if I decide that I want to come to, let's say, TrueHost, right? If I say I don't want to buy this domain name from Light Hosting, if I say that I want to buy it from TrueHost because it's the same company, I mean, it's the same web hosting company. It's the same way I say I want to buy something from Temu, I want to buy something from Jumia, I want to buy something from Konga, I want to buy something from Gigi, you know, different people, different price. You can come to TrueHost and check. You can see here now, because cheapphonesniger.com is available. Definitely, I'm sure that it is going to be available here as well. Now, they say that cheapphonesniger.com is available for 1 year, 10,000 naira. Meanwhile, on light hosting, it is 20,986. Can you see what I'm saying? If you want to buy it, .com.ng is 5,500. How much is it on light hosting? 8,988. You see what it is? .ng is 13,500. How much is it on light hosting? 20,000. That's what we are saying. So you always make sure that you are going for the well-known company and that is also cheap. Don't go for, because you're looking for cheap price, you go and look for you go to a platform that you don't know, that they say is 3,000 and then you pay your money is gone. No. TrueHost is very, very well recognizable, same as light hosting. So there are some platforms that you can go on Google and say, is TrueHost, is TrueHost legit? Just go there and say, you see Trustpilot, right? Trustpilot is where you can read reviews. You see that, oh, this platform is actually legit. You understand? Every information you need online is out there. Every information you need online is out there. So now let's not divert. Once you come to your, if you decide to use TrueHost or you decide to use light hosting, whichever you use, you add it to cart, right? Remember, I said always make sure you sign up and you log in. After you add it to cart, what? You check out, which means that you want to pay for it. Of course, all of them will always tell you, do you want to buy hosting as well? Yes, you should always buy your hosting. Now let's look at what hosting is, because domain name now leads us to hosting. Domain name leads us to hosting. Remember that hosting is where your files, your pictures, your products, all of those things, that is where it lives. You cannot do without hosting. You can buy a domain name, but it is useless without hosting. Of course, you can decide to use it for other things, right? But you need hosting, especially if you are trying to make sure that your site is independent and have its own server. You understand? Now, let's come to hosting. You can see for as low as 840 naira per month, you can buy hosting. With this, you can get 2 gig space, 100 gig bandwidth, 25 email, 5 subdomains, 0 add-on, free SSL, and so on and so forth. What do these things mean? Again, we are going to come here to try and explain it to you so that you wouldn't believe that I'm saying all of these things from my head, and you will actually see it online when I explain it even better to you. Like I said, explain this. Now we'll start from the very beginning. 2 gig web space. This Aspire that you see is just saying based on different packages. Now, 2 gig web space, it means that a website add drive storage limit on TrueHost server. It means that it's 2 gig. So in other words, there is plenty of room for a standard where you can put your portfolio, you can upload your blog, you can write content on it, you can upload some pictures, you can upload some videos, but your limit is 2 gig. Once you don't pass 2 gig, they will start telling you that you either upgrade or your website will start lagging, to start doing somehow, and it may not function well again. You understand? When they say you get 100 gig of bandwidth, it means that this is the amount of data your website can transfer to visitors each month. 100 gig of bandwidth a month. So this one is not like our MTN data, right? That they'll tell you have 100 gig a month, and before a month your 100 gig can finish. Actually, it's possible for you to use up to your 100 gig bandwidth on your website, but most times you will use it. You may not even use up to that. It says that this is the amount of data your website can transfer to each visitors. So whenever visitors visit your site, there's a transfer of data. If you have large files, most times on our website, we don't usually have large files, right? But when the data exchange from your website to your users, from your website to your users, there's a bandwidth calculation that is going on in the background. You understand? And they're telling you that we are allocating 100 gig bandwidth to you per month. Do you understand? If you are a platform like Google, a platform like Facebook, this will never be enough for you because there are millions of users visiting the platform. Do you understand? Now, when they say 25 email, they are telling you business email. We talked about it earlier. Info joshua@google.com, joshua@lighthosting.com, not your regular Gmail, right? So it's very easy to understand. It says 5 subdomains. 5 subdomain. Now, I'll explain it to you. Let's look at this same platform. No, let's look at a popular platform. We have a platform that says Gemini. We have google.com, right? This is google.com. This is the primary domain name, google.com. The moment you see something like gemini.google.com, in other words, there's a name, there's something first before the primary domain. This is a subdomain. This is a branch. In the same way we have Redeemed Christian Church of God, and they have a lot of their branches in Nigeria. That's the same way you can have subdomain. Now they are telling you that you are going to have access to what? To 5 subdomain. When you pay for what? Aspire. This is one of the advantages of light hosting that I prefer, because you can decide not to buy it for a year. You can decide to be paying monthly as low as 840 naira. So imagine buying a domain name for 5,000 and then you're just paying 840 naira per month. Very easy for you. You understand? And that's how it is. So if you say we want to buy a hosting package too, we have this together. You say use it. I say, okay, use this domain name. Say verify your information. You just continue. What? You click on continue. Your order summary. Your hosting is per month. Total is this. And then you say, okay, yeah, I'm cool with it. You don't need to touch anything here. And then you just continue. I'm trying to make it very easy for you to understand as much as possible. It says I need a username, so I'm going to put a username here. So Joshua 10. I'm going to click on continue. And it's definitely going to work now. You see, I didn't select SSL here. That's because they give me a free SSL when I was purchasing my domain name. If you look at the plans very well, you will see free SSL certificates. So I don't need to buy SSL certificates. So my domain name price is 20,986. My hosting plan is 840 naira. Remember, I said you can decide to buy something cheap as low as 5,000. I'm not buying this now. I'm just showing you how it is. Then you see you pay your tax 1,636.95. Total is 23,462.95. You click on checkout. When you click on checkout, it will show you, okay, it's time to pay. Time to make the transfer. You come here and then it loads. Let's see what it displays for us. So my network is quite poor tonight. So, but the point is, when you get to this stage, it displays a pop-up for you to make your payment. You make your payment. You can see this. Do I want to pay with Stripe, Monify, Paystack, Crypto, Stripe, whatever it is? If I choose Paystack, right? It just says, I have read the terms and conditions, complete your order. Okay, complete your order. I'm trying not to skip any process for you so that you can understand the full flow. Now, when we come to complete your order, it displays the payment page, right? So right here is where you make your payment. you make your payment on this page. If you want to make a payment by card, you want to make a payment, transfer, whatever thing you want to do, this is where you make your payment. So just a moment, let's see how it displays this pop-up. It's quite the network tonight, a little bit poor, but then it's definitely going to show. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. If you want to pay with transfer, you can pay with transfer. If you want to pay with card, you pay with your card. If you want to pay with your bank, just select your bank from here. You are able to pay directly from your bank. If you want to pay with USSD, you pay with USSD. If you want to pay directly with OPay, very good. And that's it. When you make your payment, that's it. You get your payment confirmation. You get your whatsoever. You understand? So one thing is pay attention to the email that you receive. Like I said, I won't be paying for this. That's because I'm only showing you. I don't need it presently. So what I can do is to go to my domains. The moment you pay for it, all you need to do is to go to your domains. When you go to your domain, you will see these are for clients, right? So some clients, they do their business. After some time, they don't need it anymore. They leave it. Some people do it for wedding. This is a wedding domain, right? And the moment the wedding is over, they no longer need it. Why? The domain name is to last for 1 year. So there's nothing we can do about the domain name. It's still going to last 1 year. So we just leave it that way. You understand? So, yeah. So when you come to your domain name, you see your domain name, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So, of course, when you purchase your domain name for the first time, it is going to be empty. It is going to look like something like this. Let me just put a random. Let's say this is the domain name you purchase. If you come here, it's going to be empty. You won't see anything inside. Why? That's because you have not put any content inside. So that's where WordPress comes in. When you start thinking of how do I put content inside my site so that I can start displaying for people to see. And that's where cPanel comes in. Now I'll explain the introduction to cPanel in this class. I'll try to be as brief as possible so that we can quickly look into what cPanel is. So when you finally purchase your domain name, you will see it somewhere here. If it is through another company, you will also see it when you visit your domain, right? Now you see your domain, you see it here, you see log into cPanel, you will see view details. Now if you log into cPanel, you will get to see this same page that I have displayed and showed you before. Alright, this is where you can set up your email account. I'm going to show you only the relevant things. Alright, I'm going to show you only the relevant things. Now, you can see when you click on email account, you can click on create email account. This is the domain name, gooddeednetwork.com. I can say samuel@gooddeednetwork.com. I don't need to put that again because they already put the root domain name from here. So this is going to be samuel@gooddeednetwork.com. That's if we have a staff called Samuel. Right? I can set up password. I can generate password for Samuel, and I can create his web mail from here. That's his business mail. You understand? A lot of people, when they want to get loans in the bank as professionals, they ask them, do you have a business mail? This is what they are talking about. If you don't have a business mail, there's no way you can prove that you are working with someone. And then when it comes to viewing it, you just click on check email. You are going to open your round cube. It's going to open something called round cube. Don't worry about that. It's just a term, right? And then you will see different stuff inside, right? You see different stuff inside, like the way you can now see different mails that have entered your webmail. Different mails that have entered your webmail. Do you understand it now? So, mail. Let's come out of webmail. Like I said earlier, I'm just going to explain the most important parts to you. Still on the cPanel, let's go back to the cPanel so that we don't miss anything. We have one thing we call forwarders. See, in some of the things I may not be touching here, I'm touching it because you don't need it. However, I'm going to try my best to show you the most important things that you need, that I know that you need. Now, we have something called forwarders. Now, what does forwarders mean? It means that if any mail enters this particular domain name, forward it to this email address. If any mail enters this mail, forward it to this email address. Understand? If any mail enters hello@gooddeednetwork.com, forward it to Joshua. Do you understand? I already have this. So if any mail enters hello@gooddeednetwork.com, it gets, you see, everything is here. You can see. It automatically gets forwarded to me. So I won't need to come here all the time in order to just to see the mail. So anytime any mail enters this place, it automatically gets forwarded to me in my local email. But of course, I cannot reply to it from my local email. I have to come back here in order to what? To respond. Cannot reply from here. So you understand how it works. Please don't get confused at any point in this course. If you feel confused or you don't understand some things, just feel free to send me a direct message. Let's go back to the cPanel. Now, I'm going to ignore these spaces, right? So you don't get overwhelmed and you don't really need those sections for now. We have in the files under the cPanel, file manager. You can see this is file manager. Now, if you manually code your website, if you wrote your website, if you code, or you use AI, when we'll come back to that later on. This cPanel, this file manager is where you upload your file. Because every website that you see out there, they are just files. They are just files. Any website that you see out there are just files. I'll explain to you what I mean. You understand? You see all of these things that you see here, these are mobile apps and websites. Everything that you see here, they are just mobile apps and websites. That website that you see that you visit, if you go google.com is also in a folder and a website like this. So that's how it is. Now, if you code your website from the scratch, you will definitely have to come to this place to upload it as well. But we'll come back here later on so you don't get overwhelmed, right? And for now, I will say these are the places that you need. These are the places that you need. But then free SSL, the moment you buy a domain name for 1 year, a free SSL has already been given to you. If it's from Light Hosting, and most, literally all, or most that you buy from in Nigeria, but it's literally all per se. I've never gotten a domain name from another platform. I've gotten from more than 10, and most of them always come with free SSL, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, last thing we want to look at in this section is WordPress. And when you come to this place, if you want to build your website using WordPress, not AI, that's when you need to come here. If you are not using WordPress, you want to use AI, you don't need this. Do you understand? You don't need this. So if you're using WordPress, you click on WordPress Manager by Softaculous, and you come here, you see, because we have a domain name already and we've installed WordPress before, we don't need to install this again. But if you don't have what do? You click on install. Hey Jesus. When you click on install, you will see your website will display here. You understand? You see your website here. These are my subdomains. But when you click it, you will see only your own domain name here. That's the only thing you will see. I've created subdomains, but you will only see your domain name because that's all you have. So you click it. You see this one that is here. It's an extra folder. You just remove it. You don't need it. Or else you see goodnetwork.com/WP. All you need is goodnetwork.com. Do you understand? So you choose the WordPress version that you want. Most times, always leave it. You understand? Then you choose your website name. What do you want your website name to be? This site name will always display here. See, as I navigated there, can you see? Home. You can see home. Good Network website. This Good Network is the name of my site. Site description, you put it. Your admin, make sure that nobody sees the username and the password that you use and the admin web name, mail. You understand? So you can select any plugin you like. You can decide not to select anything. And then you click on install. You click install. The moment you click install, boom, WordPress is going to be installed. And once WordPress is installed, let me not mistakenly uninstall my current site. The moment WordPress is installed, you will have this. Do you understand? You will have this. And the moment you have this, all you need to do is to click on login. It will now redirect you to your WordPress dashboard. Do we have an understanding? I do really hope we have an understanding. I do hope you have been following through. You understand? I really hope you have been following through. Now, I'm not going to try to make it look like magic for you. So I think the best thing I should do, I might just want to go ahead and create a subdomain so that we can install WordPress on it fresh. So let's see if we can install WordPress on one of our subdomains so that I can show you an example of what it looks like. Testing is, do I have anything on this domain? Let me go to testing.goodnetwork.com. Let's see what's there. Because a lot of people use it for training, or you can see what's there. So we don't need this. So let's see if we can install WordPress on it. I want to install WordPress on this domain. I'm going to remove this. This as a subdomain, and I'm going to name it testing. And I'm going to name it. Let me just leave everything like that. I'm just going to leave everything here, right? So I'm not going to forget this. Username is admin, password is pass. Don't worry, by the time you'll be checking this, I would have deleted the subdomain. So let's just go ahead with it. Admin and pass. And yeah, let's install. So now the WordPress is installing. It says, oh, some errors were found because some files already exist in the folder. You know, I don't think I want to delete it. So what do? I'll just go ahead to create a new subdomain. So I navigate back to the, what do we call it? The cPanel. I navigate back to the cPanel. Let's see how we can go about it. Then I'm going to search for domains. You may not need this yet, but just for the purpose of this class, I have to create a new subdomain, right? So that I can show you how to use WordPress from the scratch. And I'm trying to create a new subdomain, and I'll just click create a new domain. you can see what it looks like. I'll just say WordPress class, wordpress.goodidnetwork.com. This is going to be our subdomain. This is what we are going to be using for it, right? For the class. So I'm just going to click on submit. Now this subdomain has been created, wordpress.goodidnetwork.com. So now I'm going to come here to try to install WordPress, and I'm going to reload so that I'm able to see WordPress subdomain here. All right, this is it. I'm going to remove this, like I said, and I'm going to leave everything the same, admin and pass. That's the username and password, and I'm going to install. Now let's see if it's going to install this time. And that's it. It's a clean installation. You can see WordPress has been installed here. This is it. If I click on it, like I said, if you buy a domain name for the first time, if you have not installed WordPress, you are not going to see anything inside. It is because I have installed WordPress. That is why I'm seeing this. Hello, big world. Hello world, blog. Nothing is inside. And it's saying here that you can log into your admin at wordpress.goodidnetwork.com/WP-admin. If I click on this here now, you see what it's going to show me? My dashboard. Do you understand? Do you understand? Please, anything you don't understand, just make sure that you send me a message so that we can discuss it together. If we need to go on a Google Meet, on a live video call, I'm going to show you. So let's stop here for this class.